Attention all after-school all-star participants and after-school activity participants. The time is now 5:37. Please start making your way to the buses. Tutorial participants, if you are riding the buses,
Okay, Ms. Fall.
Good evening. Welcome to Crawford Lawn Middle School's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I am pleased to call this the meeting of Crawford Lawn Go Team to order at 8 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take roll.
Can you hear me? Okay. I'm sorry. Just had to get back into. I apologize. Open up. Okay. Carla, Mccall, are you present?
Present.
Natasha Hall, present?
Present.
Jameson Murphy, are you present?
Present.
Kenya Boston, are you present?
Present.
Harriet Downius is myself. I am present. Star Clark, are you present? Chandra Bond, are you present? Jesse Webb, are you present?
Present.
Okay, good. And Miss Sanabu NJ, are you present? Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
The team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Is there a quorum present?
I am afraid we may not have a quorum. There are 5 out of 8 of us.
So no, there is not a quorum present.
Hey, this is Chandra from the Go Team office. Did you say there are 8 Go Team members present?
No.
You said there were 5 of 8?
5 or 4.
5 of 8.
Yeah,
so you have a quorum. If it's 5 of 8, you're good.
Hallelujah. We have a quorum.
Okay. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move that the agenda be accepted as printed.
A second?
Jesse Webb, I second.
All in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please identify yourself or raise your hand. We will now review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections?
Hold on. I am putting the meeting minutes in the chat right now.
Thank you, Ms. Delaney. If there are no corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
I motion that the meetings be printed, be accepted as printed or recorded.
May I have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please identify yourself or raise your hand. Our first action item is to review and update the strategic plan. We will now hear from the principal to review the final strategic plan. Ms. Mccall?
Okay, I apologize. I wanted to let the announcement go first. At this time, we're going to review our strategic plan as we completed in our last meeting. So this time I will share my screen. Now, in front of you, you would see our updated strategic plan as we prioritized our rankings in our last Go Team meeting. We have 9 areas that are going to focus on, and those rankings are from the highest priority to the lowest. First, we had to improve student mastery, reading, language arts, math, social studies, and science content knowledge. Our second priority is to utilize systems and resources that identify and address root causes to promote social and academic growth. Our third priority is to recruit, develop, and retain highly talented faculty and staff. Our fourth is to implement goal setting, student ownership, growth mindset opportunities for all students. Our fifth priority is to form and engage school families, partners, and community members. Our sixth is to build teacher and leader capacity. Our seventh priority is to implement STEM program model or continue to implement our STEM program model. Our eighth priority will be to prepare all students to have essential life skills, both social and emotional. And our last priority is to prepare all students for college, career, and life. Those are the 9 priorities ranked by highest to lowest, as stated by our GO team from our last meeting. At this time, Ms. Hall.
All right, sorry. I can't do this. Are there any questions or discussions about this action item? All right, do I have a motion to accept the updates to the strategic plan?
I motion to accept the updates to the strategic plan.
A second?
Jameson Murphy, second.
All in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Please, any abstentions, please identify yourself or raise your hand. All right, that's a go. Our next. Okay. Sorry, guys. Our next action, rank our strategic priorities. Based upon our approved strategic plan, we now need to rank our priorities for next school year. This ranking will guide how the principal focus budgets expenditures to address the top priorities. Okay, so now we have to rank them, guys.
Ms. Hall, I think we already ranked them in the last meeting.
That's what
Yes.
That's what it does. It say on the agenda if necessary?
Yes.
Okay, so since it isn't necessary.
Thank you, Ms. Devonish. You're the best.
You're welcome. You are
The plan. Okay, so now let's move on to the budget allocation and development presentation by our principal.
Have you did the discussion items, Ms. Hall?
According to my plan, the next thing will be the budget, and then after that, we go into the priorities of the budget and then the questions after you make your presentation for the question.
Okay. So at this time, team, I am going to share with you our budget allocation presentation for the school year. I will review and we will have any discussions afterwards. And I'm going to start this. All right, let me reshare my screen. Are you all able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, at this time, I would like to review the norms. This is a meeting of the GO team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. We invite and welcome contributions of every member and listen to each other. We will follow the agenda as noticed to the public and stay on task, and we will respect all ideas and assume good intentions. Now, our school strategic plan is our road and our role. It is the direction, our priorities, our vision, our present, and our future. Step 1, we're going to do a data review. Step 2, we'll have a strategic plan review. Step 3, we'll look at budget parameters and our strategic priorities. And step 4, this is where we are now. We're going to make some decisions in regards to budget choices. Now, again, we're currently at step 3. Our next meeting is where we'll have our actual feedback on March 6th before we actually have the final staffing conference. What? The first GO team meeting is when the principal will provide an overview of the budget application for GO team members and the general public. So this is what we're doing today. This meeting provides an opportunity for the principal and GO team to ensure alignment of the school's strategic priorities, gain a deeper understanding of the budget allocation, and provide input to drive the direction of the draft budget. And when does this happen? From the end of January to early February, again, prior to all staffing conferences and the finalizing. Now, what is my role as a principal? As the principal, my role is to design the budget and propose operational changes that can raise student achievement, flesh out strategies, implement and manage them at the school level, focus on the day-to-day operations, serve as the expert on the school, and to hire quality instructional and support personnel. Now, what is your role as GO team member? Your role is to focus on the big picture, positions and resources, not people. Again, positions and resources, not people. Ensure that the budget is aligned to the school's mission and vision, and that resources are allocated to support key strategic priorities. And again, this is our strategic plan. From the last meeting, we did make some adjustments in regards to our priorities. And on the next slide, you will actually see the updates to our priorities ranked from highest to lowest as we discussed earlier. Again, these are 9 priorities ranked from highest to lowest, which our highest is being to improve student mastery in all content areas, and our last priority being to prepare all students for college, career, and life. Now, here are some priorities for the upcoming school year or fiscal year 25 and the rationale behind that. Our first priority is to increase reading and lexicals and writing of students in grades 6 through 8. Rationale. Our data indicates that students often come to us more than 2 to 3 grade levels behind. And there's a need to support literacy in the school to student achievement in all content areas. And I do apologize about the error in the word "in" next to lyrics. Next priority is to utilize data to meet the individual needs of students. Our rationale to ensure that students are receiving maximized, personalized opportunities for achievement, remediation, and enrichment daily. Our next priority is to maximize wraparound services such as nurses, social workers, counselors, behavioral therapists. Our rationale behind that: due to barriers that many of our families face, there's a need for supports that assist both scholars and their families to remove any barriers presented from the student attending school and achievement. Our next priority is to maximize the intervention block daily. Dedicated time is needed for students to receive specific interventions and or enrichment in ELA and mathematics. And again, that's to meet the learners, those individualized needs, and to enhance and enrich them in the areas of ELA and math. And our last priority is to provide intensive peer instructional support for teachers on Tier 1 instruction. Due to the changes in standards and the lack of consistent professional learning opportunities focused on effective Tier 1 instruction to meet the needs of all learners. So those are 5 priorities that we have there here. And at the same time, all of these priorities are in alignment with the 9 priorities that we set, including signature programming, because of course, if we improve Tier 1 instruction, we'll then be able to implement those signature programming strategies in the classroom, but at the same time, make sure there's an alignment between STEM and the content area that is being supported. Now, let's have a discussion of our budget. This budget represents an investment plan for our school students, employees, and the community as a whole. The budget recommendations are tied directly to the school's strategic vision and direction. The proposed budget for the general operations of the school for next school year or school year 25 is $9,031,600. This investment plan for FY25 accommodates a student population that is projected to be 626 students, which is a decrease of 49 students from fiscal year 24 or this school year. Now, how does that look on paper? In front of you, you will actually see our fiscal year 25 school allocation. Now, you will see an actual count. That is giving you the number of students. You will see a weight, and you will also see an allocation. And of course, as I stated earlier, we have a decrease of 29 students. So we were initially, last school year, had a projection of 675, and that has decreased to 626 for the upcoming school year, which did allow us to see a decrease in funds. Now, if we look at our base pupil count or that projected enrollment, for that base pupil, we're looking at 626 students. And that is a $5,324.48 rate. So that will give you $3,339,071 in regard to the number of pupils that we are serving. But now let's look at grade level. For the SSF category of poverty, 476 of our students fall into that category. That will give us an allocation of $1,193,318. If you look at concentration of poverty, we'll gain $57,794. For EIP and REP, we're looking to have 113 students. So that's a fund allocation of $241,096. For special ed, we're looking to have 100 students for the upcoming school year, which is an allocation of $26,670. For gifted, we're looking to have 11 students, and that's an allocation of $41,072. For our gifted supplement, we'll receive an additional $77,306 for those 21. For ELL, we're actually looking to have an increase, and we're going to 40 students, which gives us an allocation of $45,872. We're not receiving a small school supplement because of our population. And for incoming performance, and that's a count of 367 students, we're being allocated $190,446. Now, if you look at that just with the SSF allocation, that would give us, and I'm sorry you could not see that number, I think that's $5,259,548. And that is from SSF. Now, the next slide you will see will be our additional allocation of funds. So that means you're actually going to add the number that is at the bottom, or the funds we receive from SSF. You will add it to those additional funds, and that will give you that final $9 million that you see at the bottom.
Oh, shoot.
So now I will discuss those additional funds. Because of our signature programming model, of course, that is STEM, we will be receiving $289,710. We are not a turnaround school, so we will receive any additional funds. For Title I, we'll receive $449,757. Title I holdback, there's a holdback of $46,728. We'll receive $19,407 for Title I family engagement. For Title I school improvement, Title I behavior, and Title IV bridge, we will not receive any funds. For field trip transportation, we will receive $23,698. For dual campus supplement, we will not receive any funds. For district funding stipends, and those are those stipends such as coaches, things of that nature, department chairs, we will receive $79,650. And flex, this is something new actually, to allow us to provide those additional supports from the funds that we are going to lose from our CARES funding. We were allocated additional $130,339 to support positions or those supports that were in the building that would be out. And our total FTE allotments, we will get $2,831,156. So our total for additional earnings will be $3,779,051. So our total allocation for next school year will be that overall sum of $9,031,600. What's next? In January, the Go Team budget allocation meeting between now and late February. In February, I will actually have one-on-one with the associate superintendent to have discussion. We will have cluster planning sessions to discuss position sharing, cluster alignment, and other things. Also, there will be program manager discussions and approvals. The Go Team feedback meetings, and that should be held again before the staffing conference. And staffing conferences are being held on February 26th to March 1st. In March, we will have all final Go Team approval meetings, and after the school's conference and before Friday, March 15th. So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing so we can have any questions or discussions in regards to the budget. At this time, I'm going to stop sharing.
Oh, no, I needed you to go back and share so I can ask a question about,
Okay.
it was on the second round of money that we were supposed to get with the Title I, like school improvement. So, school improvement and behavior and the Title IV bridge. We just didn't qualify for that this go around.
Let me I'm hearing two.
So yeah, right there for the Title I school improvement, the behavior and the bridge, we just didn't qualify for that. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we did not qualify. So
And
anywhere we have.
And even though we have kids in dual enrollment for the campus supplement, we're not gonna
Now,
get
when you say campus supplement, That's more so a school such as, let's say, Sutton, because they have two different campuses. There's a sixth grade campus and a seventh and eighth grade. So we're
Okay.
not talking about such as dual enrollment. And we
Okay.
have our able students. That's literally two separate campuses, but different.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And the flex, that what exactly, because it's new, like what exactly is flex? Because it takes for the turnaround.
Okay. The flex itself, because we're, of course, post-pandemic, we were getting CARES funds. And with CARES funds, we were able to add additional positions, get additional resources, have additional schools. And this year, pretty much now, because all funds run out in September from the federal government, that right there is just for those schools who may have had, let's say, $1 million in COVID relief to provide, that's just to give them a little push. But to be honest, in regards to certain things, it literally may be one teaching position if you look at benefits and the salary. So it looks like a lot of money right now, but when you add in certain things, not that much. But that still would give us a little bit more wiggle room as far as resources that we could use to support the needs of the school.
Okay, and for next school year, do we plan on adjusting or changing, like how we have the four-man teams, like on eighth grade, we have 3 4-man teams, or will it go down to 2, or no? Is it gonna cause us to lose teachers because we lost some money?
Can I stop sharing right quick to answer?
Yes.
Okay. Now, to be very honest and transparent, the goal is to make it to whereas we don't have to lose teachers, because we know if we lose teachers, then lose bodies to support students. But at the same time, we're trying to be creative. And when I say creative, we're looking at certifications, things of that nature, just to ensure that we still have the bodies to support our students. So to answer your question, Ms. Hall, right now the goal is no. But if we have to, and when I say we have to, because eighth grade is, and I'm just going to say overall in the district, eighth grade is a grade level where all content areas are tested. So if we have to make adjustments, that will be for the needs of the students. So eighth grade will be the last one. But again, our goal is not to touch any individuals, just to utilize the intent survey based off those who may not come back, and then other things. So we won't have to lose those individuals who say they're planning on returning next. And right now that we're working some things to make that happen. Are there any other questions?
I have one question,
Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Mccall. The gifted students, it said that we'll have projected to have 11. How is that determined? Because don't we have gifted students in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, or is that just?
And there's a big difference, and that's where there's a difference between being actually gifted and talented and gifted. So that's where we really have to make sure that we're really pushing for those areas and those indicators and those identifiers, because there's students who could qualify, but we need to make sure that we're identifying them accurately so we can increase that number. So I know that we have a lot of students who have are tagged, but they're actually gifted. We don't have as many that are gifted as those that are tagged. So that's what we need to increase. So that's why that projection is that way. But at the same time, remember, we are losing eighth grade students. And with those eighth grade students we're losing, if we don't have those numbers coming from our Fila Elementary School, that is what's based off also our Fila Elementary School and the number of students they have. So I think that would be a push cluster-wide, that we work on increasing the number of students that are actually identified as gifted, and looking at those qualifiers, especially things such as participating in the science fair and ranking if you have an individual project. So things that a lot of us don't even looks at being identified as gifted. We're pushing those at the elementary level, but at the same time to our scholars in 6th grade, so we can have our numbers when it comes to for the 3 years that they are here. So that's the only reason, Mr. Murphy, because all of those students are not officially gifted. A lot of them are tagged talented.
And it could go up because
Thank
we're
you.
testing this week. So once we get those scores back for those 6th and 7th grader.
I'm sorry, Ms. Hall, I can't hear you.
I said we're testing this week, so it could possibly go up if they do what they have to do on the test. And we could have some more.
And that right there would be Are there any other questions? Ms. Boston, you're quiet.
But I'm moving a little slow here. I was driving, so I couldn't get a chance to really look at everything. So I'm taking it in. And then the PowerPoint was moved, and the request was made to put it in the chat if that's possible. And I can't even remember if you don't mind sharing it again. Because I know we didn't receive any funds for Title I. I realized that we're not turnaround school, so I saw that. But do we? The one question I did have is, do we have any other sources of income to address any of our areas of concern?
As far as funding in regards to that, and when I say funding in regards to our staffing budget, no. But the best part about it is as we continue to go on partners, especially when it comes to those community partners such as Caring for Others, Holistic Strengths, they also have been very interested in providing us with some of those supports needed. So right now, that's what we're pushing towards, especially for those wraparound supports and those resources. Those are the things that are really sustaining us currently where we don't have the funds. So I'm looking for that, and alongside us garnering other partners to support us for next school year. Ms. Boston, did that?
And just to mention that the access to the link is
Were
not
you able? I'm sorry.
access to the link, the PowerPoint that you just shared in the chat. The permissions are not open to everyone because I just had to request permission.
Ms. Dio needs to
permission?
take care of that for you, so you can get permissions to the, Ms.
I,
Dio,
no, Mr. Coach Murphy, I actually can't because that hasn't been shared with me yet. It just told me I needed
It's
permission.
saying that I do apologize. It's still on restricted.
Okay.
I changed the rights.
Thank you.
Let me know if you're able to get in now.
We can.
We can.
Okay. And again, this is with us being down from our enrollment last school year. So that decrease of 49 students, it sounds like literally it sounds like 2 classrooms to us. But when it comes to funding, it hits very hard because we were almost down 500,000 or $500,000 in funding. So again, that's where it goes to. We have to, and Ms. Boston, I saw so 49 students, when you say 49, it doesn't sound like a lot. But then when you say 500,000, then there are major hits where we really are, pretty much sustaining when it comes to the needs of our students. So that's why I said earlier, Ms. Boston, before you got on, that we're being very creative. We're being very innovative to ensure that the individuals who have the intent to remain here in the building, that they are here. But we're looking at certification and things of that nature because it's going to be a situation where it's going to have to be some compromise in order for us to still keep the number of people in the building that we need to sustain the needs of the student.
Principal Mccall, this is Chandra from the Go Team office. Just a quick question about when you all's next meeting is going to take place for you all to discuss the draft budget.
Okay, initially it was March 6th.
Yes, the next meeting is March 6th.
Do we
So
need to
you got-
change that?
So you all could use that meeting for your budget approval, but your team, you would actually have to do your presentation of the draft budget and get the Go Team's feedback before your staffing conference. So I don't know when your staffing conference is, but before.
Ms. Gibson, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. What I was saying was that you could use the 6th for your approval meeting. But before your staffing conference, you would need to show and review with the Go Team your draft proposal of the budget, the one that you're going to take to the staffing conference, so that you can get the team's feedback. So you all, I don't know when your staffing conference is, but y'all would need to have a meeting prior to that for you all to, do that feedback.
Okay. Okay. So, Ms. Hall, and so we're gonna have to, I'm gonna give you all the date. Can we convene tomorrow? And I give you all the official date so I can confirm the date. And we schedule a meeting prior to March 6th so we can go ahead and have that discussion in regards to the budget.
Quick
So
question.
you said you want to have another Go Team meeting tomorrow? Because the team would have to vote on a date.
No, I was telling them I was going to give them my date of my conference so we can go ahead and get a meeting scheduled, but we're going to have to vote on that meeting. So let me look now on the calendar to see has it been finalized and we could possibly vote for that meeting tonight. Is that something that could be done, Ms. Gibson?
Yeah, that's what I would recommend, is that you go ahead and you all finalize the next meeting date tonight while you have a quorum.
Okay. So hold one moment and I'm going to go to the other screen so I can go ahead and give you all the date.
Ms. Gibson, I do have a quick question, just so I can make sure that I'm thinking about the right thing that you're saying. So the one that you're talking about that we have to go deep and dive is the one that has everything listed, right? Like it goes in depth with like the position. I think last year the one that Ms. Hill did. Is that the budget draft that you're talking about?
It has the strategic plan priority breakout. So it has like, the requests. I actually think the slides are in that deck that Principal Mccall dropped in the chat. It's just the second half of that slide deck.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I do know there's one that we go over actual positions and abolishments, and that's
the next one.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's page like 17 that starts up on the next portion.
Because as the next part, it says that we will now discuss the draft budget to ensure it addresses our school strategic plan.
Yeah.
So are we going to do that tonight?
No, and that's what we were saying. So the staffing conference is actually February 29th. If we could have the meeting before Friday, the 23rd, that would be great. But that means literally next week because we'll be off.
Tuesday next week I cannot do because I have class. I do apologize.
Well, next week we're out. Week
after next we're out. So
what about next Wednesday?
You have class every Wednesday?
No, I have class every Tuesday. Next Wednesday is Valentine's Day. I'm here for it.
I actually have a class
on Wednesday.
Could it be that Monday the 26th? Is that too close? Just schedule like a special meeting?
The budgets have to be completed by the 23rd. So that's why I say whatever we do.
On the 19th, on that Monday, we have a planning day.
But we can actually do it and we actually could do it during the day because school would not be in session.
So
Is that
could we
correct, Ms.
do,
Gibson?
Yes, that's correct. I don't know, how that will work with your parents or your community member schedules, but if you can find a time that works for everybody during the day, then you could.
Okay.
shoot for the 19th or the 12th? Is everybody busy on the 12th? Next Monday? Could you have it there, Miss McCall?
Next Monday, yeah. Next Monday is
On the
fine.
12th? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Mr. Webb, Ms. Delnice, I have
Monday's
done
fine.
on the 12th. Is everybody free to meet?
What time?
It will be in after 5:30, like 5:30, our regular meeting time.
Sure.
Works for me.
You said no, Mr. Webb, or yes?
I said sure.
Okay, Mr. Murphy, are you available? Ms. Delnice, are you available?
I am available, yes.
Okay, Humble Tutoring? Is that a parent? She's on the Go team, right?
She's a community
Okay.
member, not a.
Miss Boston, are you available?
Yes.
Okay. And she said she could be there. So can we, Ms. Delnice, are you good with that?
I'm fine with that. We can reach out to the two parents and the other community member that are on the Go team and let them know that we've
Okay.
decided we have to have another meeting.
Okay.
But if at least the 5 of us who are here tonight are able to be there, here next Monday, we will have a quorum.
Okay. Perfect. All right, thank you so much, Principal Mccall. We will now, ma'am.
Yeah, I had a quick question for Mccall.
Yes, ma'am.
When do you get the projections from the elementary school? I know it's probably kind of early now, but
All of that is actually factored into our projections because I'm sorry, echo, but all of that was actually factored in. So all of that is factored in when it comes to the gifted, special ed, ELL from our feeder schools. So those are the projections that are actually calculated to determine the number of students that we have when it comes to our 6th grade class. So when we received this at the end of January, those projections were already embedded with our projections for the next school year.
okay, so we're projected to lose all the students that you mentioned.
Yes, we're projected to lose 49.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know if this is appropriate to bring up at this time. Maybe it's a discussion thing, but I do see a lot of construction in our neighborhood, especially right down the
Are there
street.
any other questions? Any other discussion pieces?
Ms. Dionese, the internet is kind of wonky in the school. That's why I left. So maybe Ms. McCoo didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Ms. McCoo, did you hear me say something about the construction in the neighborhood?
Oh, I've seen it, but I don't know if you're talking about the different townhomes and houses. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, it looks like there would be quite a few families right on our street, Empire, whatever.
So you're saying it should make our enrollment increase.
One
I-
would think.
I think they actually mentioned in some of the projections she had before that it's going to take a decrease, and then like in 5 years it's going to
It's gonna
uptick back
increase.
up. Yep. Because
But
you
at
got
the
to think.
same time, Miss Dale Niece, you have to remember, even with houses being built, that's with the assumption that there are school-age students in the house.
Yep.
But if they're not school-age children, regardless of who's moving in, then they're not coming to us. But I'm also going to say this, and this may be a push for Mr. Murphy with our STEM, some of our STEM PBLs, creating a promotional video for Long Middle School. So we could sell ourselves, because one of the major things that I've noticed, especially when individuals come in, it's their first time here, they always say Cloth Alone is the best kept secret, because they're not aware of what's going on in the building, but at the same time, they're not aware of the resources that we have within our building to support the students and the interactions that we have. So I think that would be something to we really look at, especially because we have a lot of students. Nothing wrong with charter schools, but
Right.
we have, teachers that are even possibly better than those in charter schools, and we provide supports that are, somewhat, I'm going to be somewhat biased, better than those schools. So I think if we create a video that could possibly, a promotional video, that could possibly bring in those 49 students that we think we're losing just by us advertising for ourselves. Because when you have people within APS who don't know what's going on in Long Middle School, I personally know that you have people who may be moving to the community who are not aware of what's going on. So, Mr. Murphy, I am going to lift that charge to you, especially being that we do have drones in our film program. Let's have a student created promotional video so we can try to actually pull those 49 students in from going elsewhere next school year.
Yeah, we'll definitely, because with all the student artifacts and that we have, we should be able to actually put something together without an issue. And then we can also make it a school-wide challenge as well with the students. And I know the students like some form of STEM challenge because they're very creative when it comes to social media. So yeah, if we can create a better social media presence that's student centered, that would be a good project to tackle. So yeah, we'll definitely move on that.
And just to piggyback, I think, no, the reality is now with the whole charter school system, charter schools definitely promote themselves. I mean, they go out to
Okay,
get
Ms.
students.
Boston said that she did have a sixth grader that she know would love being on that team. And
Okay.
so that's where we are right now, just advertising and promoting Long Middle School sales, because as I stated, we are secret. So if we can get those individuals, and I've also opened up 25 seats as school choice. So whether it's APS parents, whether it's people who may be from other sides of town, just so we could possibly have those individuals who see things that they like about Long, who may consider transferring from a school in their cluster to come here. So those are other things that have been done to increase our enrollment. Ms. Hall?
Yes, skip that part. We'll now move on to information items. First is the principal's report.
Okay, again, I just want to just always stretch every meeting. We have some great things going on here at Long Middle School. One of our students, he actually last weekend, he participated in governor's honors. He was out of, I think, one of 5 tuba tuba section members that were selected. So kudos to that student. We also have a student who was selected with baseball as a star player in our 8th grade students that was selected. And it's great to say that our Helen Ruffin Readable, our solid and 6 rounds they had to compete in, our solid 5 out of the 6 rounds. The only team that they did not beat was the reigning champions for the last, I think, 3 years. But other than that, beat every school which they went against in the Helen Ruffin Reading Bowl. So it's great to see that our students are not only reading, but they're comprehending so they can compete amongst other schools and actually win. So that's great. And those teams, our dynamic media specialist, she supported, and also Mr. Jones, our band teacher. We also have a dynamic debate team, and our team, they're actually winning. And when I say winning, not only individual awards, but group awards. We have several students who won speaker awards, individual speaker awards. And it's great to see that we're having an increase of students who are participating in not just athletic competitions, but competitions that really focus on content areas. And I'm also proud to say that Ms. Eunice, she was actually our sponsor when for our spelling bee. And we had school-wide, we had more than 50 students to try out for the spelling bee. We did have our 3 top winners, and I'm proud to say that we have a 6th grade who actually came in first place in school. She made it to the second round in the district spelling, but unfortunately, she did not come out on top, but she did a great job. We also have some great things going on in our Build Lab. We have a state-of-the-art Build Lab where we're now gaining attention, and when I say attention of other schools to come out and not only view our lab, but to also see the instruction that's being provided to our scholars by Ms. Portier. Now, something I'm very, very excited and proud to say, one of the major things that we needed to shift on in the building was making sure our teachers were able to gain professional development. Professional development beyond the scope and lens of Atlanta Public Schools and beyond even the state of Georgia. So I'm proud we have over 20 teachers in the building who will be attending either local, and when I say local, Metro RESA, to national professional developments, just so they can gain additional information on topics such as ELA, to at-risk students, to gifted students, just so we can make sure we're gaining strategies to support the needs of our learners, but at the same time learning innovative strategies to implement to our students because we have such a diverse population. So overall, I'm just proud of the gains and strides Crawford Long are making currently, and at the same time that I know we will continue to make. And we have a dynamic team. They're working. It's hard work. We have a heavy, heavy lift to do, but the team is working. So I just want to say kudos to all for working here at Crawford Long to make sure our scholars get to that next. And not only our scholars, but also each professional are investing in themselves to develop themselves in their content area. So as I stated, there are some great things going on at Crawford Long, and I'm sure that they will continue the remainder of the school year and throughout the upcoming school year. And last but certainly not least, we had more than 345 students that were celebrated at our MAP growth celebration. We had some students that grew in ELA, some that grew in math, and some that grew in both content areas. So a huge shout out to not only the scholars, but the teachers that provided the instruction for those scholars to grow. And again, 345 scholars, it was great. And we're looking for more scholars for the upcoming testing session. Also, we had 5 8th graders who participated in the regional district science fair. And I'm proud to say, I know sometimes people are in the afternoon, it's difficult to check emails, but we have winners in the regional district science fair. So those scholars will be announced on February 8th at King Middle School. So we do have some students who did win in the regional science fair. And at the same time, out of the 9 groups that were selected to move on to the next round of the social studies fair, we have 2 sets of students. So out of the 9 groups of students that will be going to the state level in the social studies fair, 2 of those groups are actually from Crawford Long Middle School. And it's great to say that we actually have some that are in our program for exceptional children. So that's even greater to say that we do have students in our program for exceptional children who are performing, but not only performing at the school level, but performing at the level that they can represent the school and the district at the regional social studies fair. Ooh, we have some great things going. In addition, our PBL, we have our sustainability PBL. There's some great PBLs going on. If you visit the building, you will actually see some of the artifacts from those creations of students. And the driving question is actually geared towards some things that Mayor Andre Dickens is currently doing, and that's sustainability. How can we create a more sustainable future for the city of Atlanta without leaving anyone behind? And again, our PBL is in alignment with the problem that the city is currently facing and addressing. And this was actually created before we even knew about the initiative of the city. So again, our students are solving problems that even the city of Atlanta are trying to address. We also have several students in 8th grade that attended our iFly STEM field trip, where they were able to realize the real world application of STEM, especially when it pertains to skydiving. There are again a lot of great things going on. We have additional things that have been listed in the chat, but just join us in the continuous improvement and progression of Crawford Long Middle School. And with the work of the teachers and everyone else, we know we'll continue to do great things. So, Mr. Murphy, thank you for putting those items in the chat. Individuals can read that information, but as I stated, we have a lot of great things going on here at Long Middle School. Now, Ms. Hall, back to you.
Thank you, Principal Mccall. We remind all Go Team members to complete their budget training on the Ellis platform. If you need assistance with the platform, please contact the Go Team office, or you can reach out to myself because I can forward you the email or help you find the program on Ellis. Does anybody have any additional announcements? Great. We have
I'm
reached the
sorry, Ms.
end.
Hall, Ms. Hall,
Yes.
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Mr. Webb did send me his certificate, and if anybody else completes it, please send me the certificate so we can have, evidence of everybody having done it.
Okay.
Oh, and I just wanted to announce the Savannah college field trip that we're taking the 8th graders on next week. So looking for more students to join us. So that information is part of the 8th grade letter that was 8th grade parent letter that was sent out 2 weeks ago. So for any parents that view our YouTube channel, just to make sure that they are aware and are willing to send their signed agreement sheet, the orange sheet, and send their funds in to participate, so their student can participate in the Savannah college field trip. I think the kids will have a ball.
Ms. Boston, quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What are the fees for that per student?
It's $100 to cover or to go towards the transportation, the hotel, and the places we like to take the children. So we have a few things in mind for the kids to enjoy. We have about 4 locations we'd like to visit, and if we can squeeze somewhere in, we're going to try to squeeze as much in as possible. And it's an overnight trip, and so we depart on Thursday, February 15th, and return Friday, February 16th, about between 5 and 6 p.m.
Do we have any students that have expressed that they want to go, but they're not quite able?
Not to me directly. So I would have to ask my colleagues to maybe explore that with the students, but we do keep mentioning to the children. So if anyone does have that situation, if it comes to me, then I'll definitely ask for your contact information so I can forward that to you. And thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? All right. May I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move that we adjourn this meeting at 6:37 p.m.
A second.
Jesse Webb, I second.
All in favor, say aye or raise your hand. Aye. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. The meeting is adjourned at 6:37 p.m.
Thank you all. Good night.
Okay, everyone have a great evening. Thank you for coming.